Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of So Tell Us Time. We're super excited to be here with you guys today. It is another great Tuesday morning. Well, Monday morning for our live people, Tuesday morning for our podcasters. So you'll notice we've been doing something a little bit different lately. We've actually been going live as well as doing the pre-recording podcast because we do understand that not everybody can join us live. Most of our podcasters are, driving around in their vehicles throughout the day. They're looking for, that motivation. They're looking for that direction and that focus, and they don't have time to listen to it live. They can't see us on social media during the day when they're working. So we're doing something a little bit different. We're bringing it in live for the people who are able to see that and jump on. And then we're also doing our normal podcast where we launch every Tuesday morning at 4:30 a.m. And I use that word motivate strategically today because guess what? We're talking about motivation. We're talking about motivating people, including yourselves. So we're halfway through the summer. And here's what happens in summertime. By the time summer hits, our spouses, our kids, they want to go on vacation. Our employees, they want to go on vacation because their spouses and their kids want to go on vacation. Everybody kind of gets in this mindset of I don't know, I want to have some fun and it's summertime and everybody's partying and the kids are out of school. And so what happens is a lot of times we lose motivation. We get unmotivated. And so today what we're going to be talking about is we want to make sure that not only do you stay motivated, but how do you motivate your employees as well to keep going through that summer. Come on, this is the time we got to push. And then, we're going to have the end of the year, finishing the end of the year is going to be amazing if we just get through the, I would call it the summer lulls, right? Everybody kind of starts lacking a little bit. And so it's hard. It's hard to be at work when everybody's out partying. But let's jump in, Troy, and let's get this going. We're going to skip, by the way, we're going to try something new today. We're going to skip our little intro. Some of our even employees have been complaining about it lately, saying, oh, come on, just get to the good stuff. So we're going to try it out. Let us know what you think. We're going to skip the intro. And if you like it better, let us know. If you don't mind the intro, let us know. We're always trying to improve the show for you. So, all right, Troy, let's just jump right in.
Yeah. So again, now we're going to be talking about motivating your employees, but if you don't have any employees, you need to still listen up because you can apply these same things to yourself as a business owner. So
if you don't have any employees, you're definitely struggling this summer because you've got a spouse and you got kids that want to party and you've got no one, you're not beholden to anybody at the office, right?
Exactly. So we're going to talk about, there's basically 5 factors for motivation that we're going to be talking about today. So those factors are recognition, rewards, leadership, development, and environment. So you can use these 5 factors for motivation in order to motivate not only yourself, but your employees. So we're going to talk about each one, go over a little bit of each one, what you can do with them. So the first one we're going to talk about is recognition. And recognition is really important when it comes to, especially with your employees. You need to recognize for yourself as a business owner when you do something good, right? And one of the ways to get that recognition as a business owner, maybe you go home to your spouse and you're like, hey, honey, I did this today. And then they can help you, recognize you like, oh, you're so awesome. Great job. Right. Because if you don't have an employee there or a business partner to kind of, recognize what you did, and it's just you may not feel like you're getting the recognition that you deserve. So
let's hope that when you go home to your spouse, that's the reaction you get. And it's not like, well, I've been home all day doing this.
Yes, exactly. So, but just like you enjoy that recognition for you, you want to make sure that you're giving that to your employees as well, giving them that pat on the back, or doing it in a very vocal and a very public way. So when an employee does a really good job, you want to make sure that you recognize that not only to them, but recognize it in front of everybody in the company, so that they feel that recognition. And that's a great way to motivate them of like, man, that was so awesome. In our company meeting, my boss talked about what a great job I did. I'm going to keep doing that so that I get more recognition. So that's a great way to motivate the employees. The next one is rewards. And this is one that a lot of times, we think about this as business owners, like, oh yeah, like how can I reward my employees? And again, let's just take it from the owner perspective. How can you reward yourself? right? So the best way to reward yourself is setting goals and then creating a reward that comes with that goal. So it might be weekly goals, monthly goals, right? We always suggest weekly goals, monthly goals, and then your annual goals. But now, once you've got those goals in place, let's put some rewards around that. Maybe it's, hey, when I hit this, revenue number for the year, I'm going to go ahead and take a week vacation with my family. Or, I'm going to buy that 75-inch TV that I've always wanted, whatever it might be. Create a reward around it, and that will motivate you to work harder towards it. Same thing with your employees, right? You want to create ways that your team can earn rewards for their work. So now, in order to be able to earn rewards, you got to have metrics in place. Yeah. And this is really, really important. You need to be able to track how your employees are doing. What are the key metrics for them? Are they meeting those metrics, and are they exceeding those metrics? Right. And it doesn't have to be super granular down to the percentage of this, that, and the other. You might just be able to look at it and say, hey, how many jobs is this employee doing a week? Or, how much revenue are they bringing in? What sales are they generating? But come up with ways, what the metric is, and then reward them. So how do you reward them? There's lots of different ways that you can reward people, right? It can be they can earn extra days off, paid days off in the year. That's one that people love. It can be, gift cards that they get to take their spouse or their children out to dinner. It can be, if you have like teams, it can be team lunches where it's like, hey, you guys get this done. Boom. We're going to do a team lunch where we're buying lunch for everybody. That's a big one as well that people like. It's also a great team building, activity, because you're getting everybody together and they're getting to, like know each other better. And that's actually our next thing, which is team building activities. Like maybe again with your team, it's like, hey, look, guys, if we hit this goal, we're going to, go to, let's say you have a boat, we're going to go out on the boat for a day and enjoy the lake. Or we're going to go to Dave and Buster's and we're going to play video games and do whatever, whatever interests your team, you can do those team building activities.
I remember one year there was some movie that was coming out that everybody was all excited about. Everyone was like super into it. And so that's what our team decided. We actually let them choose. We said, what would you guys like to do? And they were like, wow, this movie's coming out. What if we went to that movie? So we got all our work done and we planned it out to where we took off early and we went and saw that movie.
Yep, exactly. So those team building activities are really good. Bonuses, of course, are another way, right? Creating a bonus structure where they know, hey, I can earn extra income, bonuses by getting this stuff done. And that will keep them motivated because they want that bonus.
And something I was going to say, Troy, was that I like that actually was last, bonuses, because that's what I feel like everybody thinks of first, right? It's like bonuses, more money, and the thing about it is that there are so many other ways. Like you said, you could do a staycation. You could do, what's your local sports team? You could do tickets, to a game, a baseball game, a basketball game, a hockey game, a football game. You could do, if there's local plays going on in the area. I've seen people give away play tickets, right? That way they can take their spouse to a nice like dinner and a play, things like that. It doesn't always have to go straight to, and I know money is money, but the thing is it's interesting how the same amount of money spent on something like a little staycation or a play or a basketball game or something like that, dinner and whatever, night out, that amount of money given to them as like some sort of reward, right? Versus then taking that and actually just giving them the money. So let's just say it was like, $100 or a couple $100 or whatever. It actually doesn't seem to have the same impact, especially when people talk about bonuses. Like people are thinking, and I think it's all the old movies we used to watch where it was like, they were Christmas Day, they were waiting for the bonus to come and we're going to buy a new pool or we're going to take the family to Hawaii on this new bonus, And so it's like when people hear that word bonus, it's like we're a couple $100 in a gesture, right? Like of, hey, take your spouse out, go to this dinner and go to this play on us, will go a long way versus just hand them the cash and they're like, oh, thanks.
Well, and I was going to add to that, Trevor, a lot of time, especially if you put thought into what you're giving them, it shows them that you know them. You
Yeah,
know what they like. You know what their spouse likes, right? You put more thought into it than just handing them money. So
exactly.
I agree with that 100%. So the next thing is leadership. Now, how does leadership motivate? Well, you need to lead them and you need to do it in a positive way, right? If you are leading your team and you are doing it in a positive way and uplifting them and making them feel good about themselves and the work that they're doing, they're going to work harder for you. They're going to be motivated to keep doing that. So you as a leader makes a big difference, when it comes to doing that, with them. And the other thing is you also need to give them the opportunity to lead as well. Like, it's
Mhm.
really interesting. If you've ever noticed this with employees, and we've seen this, it's like we give them the opportunity to lead, whether it's a project or, whatever it might be, and they step up because they're like, oh, I'm the one responsible. I'm the one in
Mhm.
charge, right? I've got to make sure that this goes well. Whereas, if they're just a member of the team, they're like, whatever, I can kind of sit back. But the minute they are the leader, now all of a sudden they want to perform and it motivates them to be better. So, giving them ownership of a project or a task can really motivate them to do that better. So that's
Yes.
the leadership part of it's important. And, it also increases their skills as a leader in the company. The next one, development. And development is really important, especially if you want to keep employees long term. You need to make sure that you give them a clear path for career development.
Mhm.
What employees hate the most and what causes a lot of employees leaving a company is that they do not see a path for them to grow in the company. So it's important for you to make sure that they actually see that clear path of like, look, you're here, but you're going to be able to get to here, right? And here's how you're going to do it, right? You're going to hit these goals, you're going to do these things, and that motivates them to want to get to that next level. So they work harder for that. So giving them
Mhm.
that clear path is really important. The other thing is giving them the ability to grow their skills, right? With our development team, one of the things that our developers love about our company is that we always tell them right from the beginning, we are not afraid to pay you to
Yes.
learn, right?
Yes.
We are happy to pay you to learn more skills so that you are a better asset, a better part of our team. And all of our developers have just loved that. They're like, wait, I don't have to go and study it, at night on my own time to learn something. You're saying that during my work hours, I can dedicate some of my time to learn a skill that is going to help the company. And we're like, absolutely. So, giving that ability for them to grow their skills motivates them to be better,
And
right?
you know what's interesting is a lot of them in turn naturally then continue on and want to learn that, and they'll go home. They'll be like, the workday will be over, it'll be time to clock out, and they're like, and they'll head home, have some dinner, and then they're like, man, I want to finish. I want to keep going with what I was learning. I don't want to get interrupted. So they'll just jump in at home anyways and
Yeah,
continue on learning. So it's been awesome.
exactly. Okay, so the next one, the fifth one was environment. And this is really important, right? You need to create a culture of recognition in your company. Sometimes as owners, we think that we need to use the stick instead of the carrot, right? We're
Yeah.
like, oh, we got to kind of beat on these employees and, motivate them to keep moving forward. And our first instinct is to go to the stick instead of the carrot.
Mhm.
And, we need to pull back as owners sometimes and be like, you know what? Let's go with the carrot first, and
Yes.
see what we can get out of these employees, see how motivated they will be before we go to the stick. Let's use the stick as the last resort.
Mhm.
And again, as owners, sometimes that's hard because it's so much easier to just get on an employee and be like, you got to do this, da 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 da. Like, you're not performing. That's so much easier than to actually come up with ways to motivate them and incentivize them to work harder.
Right.
So we got to create that culture where we use the carrot first, right? You also want to create a fun place to work, right? If you think about it, these employees are spending practically a third of their entire week with you at work. So the
Mhm.
more the more they enjoy that experience at work, the more they're going to be motivated to stay there and to work harder for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you just goof off and play around all the time, right? Because then the business is going to go out of business. But, find ways to make it fun, The other thing is get to know your employees and create a relationship with them. So the better you know your employees, the better relationship you have with them, the more motivated they are going to be to work hard for you, right? Think about what you'll do for your boss versus what you'll do for your friend. Now, there is a fine line between boss and friend that you do have to maintain, but, building that relationship beyond just the boss can help create more motivation in your employees. And then also plan, like we talked about earlier, plan activities outside of work as a reward for your team so that they can bond as a team, and also so that they can see you as an equal in certain instances instead of just a boss, right? So a lot of times we try to maintain this, I'm the boss, and this separation, which is important in some cases, right? They need to understand that, but it's also great to have that relationship with them, have those fun moments with them where they see you as someone other than just, the boss that is just making them work super hard. So anything else, Trevor, you want to add to that?
No, that sounds great. I mean, it's really just, again, this works for you as well as your employees. And we all need every one of these things. We need to be recognized. We need rewards set up, right? We need milestones put in place. We need leadership. We need that. We need to be able to, and this is why a lot of times I would say that for business owners, business coaches come into play a lot. Actually, a lot more than I even realized, is because there needs to be leadership there. There needs to be somebody that you are looking to, even when you're the owner. And so I've always done that my whole life I do it through books. I do it through motivational books, learning and growing, right? And so we all need that. We need development, which learning and growing, and then the environment that we're in. So whether you're a one-man show or whether you've got a whole bunch of employees, we need each one of these aspects in our business and in our professional lives in order to be successful. So, all right, let's jump in and let's do the homework. Take time this week and take at least two of the things that we talked about today and implement them to either motivate yourself and or motivate the employees that are around you, that are helping you grow. It's very interesting. People all the time are like, I don't know if I can let the reins go. For all my listeners that are like, they have no employees right now. It's very hard usually to take that first step and get that first employee. And it's because I don't know if they'll do it as good as I do. I don't know if they'll service the customer as good as I do. I don't know if they'll sell the customer as good as I do. But you know what's funny is often we have found that they'll do a better job, especially depending on what the job is that they're doing. They will even do a better job. And so you have to be able to take that step. But what you want to do is once you've taken that step, if you don't have any employees, when you take that step, you need to be able to keep people motivated. And that's a very big thing. And it's a lesson that everyone will learn. But if you've got a lot of employees, honestly, it's like, yeah, you got to work really hard at keeping everybody motivated and staying on top of, productivity. And then even worse, in my opinion, is if you're by yourself, keeping yourself motivated, truly motivated, because you can say you're motivated. You can say you crank. You can say you get it all done, and I'm sure you're out there doing it, making it happen. But we all know that it is so easy to just walk away from something, drop something, or just completely forget about it because nobody's holding us accountable, right? So, all right. So take at least two of these things this week, implement them for you and implement them for your employees if you have them, and finish the summer strong. Hopefully we're going to get through this summer and, we're going to, in all honesty, we're going to get through the next few months of craziness and we'll get through the end of this year and it won't be an election year anymore. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's terrible when it's an election year. That is just a fact for business. So that's the other thing too, is let me put this out there. If you are like, man, this year is hard, this year is tough, just understand you got to see everything for what it is. And always on election years, every 4 years, it gets a little cray if you look back. So let's get through it together. Let's stay motivated, and we will check you guys out on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.